Dan Vaughn with you from a very frosty, and I mean frosty, Lone Star State. What a night last night, 4th of July holiday here in Texas. Let me bring this down. What am I doing? What am I doing? There we go. That's much better if I do this. There we go. Let's roll the open. We can do that in 3, 2, 1. Let's get the show rolling. There we go. Let's get some graphics up here. Let's try this one right there. Let's see if that works. That don't look too bad. There we go. Well, that looks bad now. I don't know what happened with this one. This one used to look really good. And now it's like blocking me. So anyway, let's try this one. Let's just go with the one we've been using. There we go. Pretty standard. There we go. Guess we can stop the music too, can't we? Let's do that. Good morning. How you doing? Good afternoon now. It's morning, though, for us that were up late last night. And that would be me. If you were a Monarch, you were up late last night. If you were at the ball game in Cleveland last night, you were up late. It was a long one, a good one, but a long one. I mean, what did we play? 4 hours and change last night. Where's my box score? Somewhere over there. 4 hours and 38 minutes. I mean, it was a long one. As a matter of fact, I looked at a little watch here. You can watch the booth cam. You saw me. I'm looking at it, and I looked. And Jamison McGrain is warming up, and I'm going, it's 11:13. I'm like, what? Oh, yeah. The first couple innings, especially on their end, Garrett Alexander, I looked up in the third inning, he had 82 pitches. I'm like, this guy might throw 200 tonight. Anyway, it turned out to be a good night. Kansas City did win last night. Of course, this is Monarchs Mocha, brought to you by the Roastery Coffee Company, with 6 locations in Kansas City. And go by and see them. Their sole purpose is to source the best coffee in the world. That's right. Do it efficiently, fast for you. They're in the shop, the best experience possible. I mean, the ultimate coffee experience. Our friends at Roastery, who've been teaming up with us, picking up some interesting drinks there at the ballpark, the Legends Club, and throughout the ballpark. Some stuff that Jim Cundiff and our hospitality VP has been doing. Really good stuff in the Roastery Coffee Company. Roasty down here, it would be iced coffee today, iced coffee tomorrow, and iced coffee for eternity, at least in the summer in this part of the world. As a matter of fact, I'm about to go outside, and while I don't have coffee today, I'm doing this, because I've got my morning workout still to get in, because it was a late one, and just a little bit, of course, it was a long, quick turnaround from yesterday and Monday and Sunday and all that, and the holiday. So anyway, you don't care about my lack of sleep. It's not important. It's about your questions and comments about the ball game last night. Recapping it now, I'm going to try to play a couple things for you. I don't have the entire melt, and I didn't get a chance to edit it. When you're on the road, it's a little harder, but I do have the access to it, so that's the good news with our audio. Which is good news. So that's the first time we've been able to call a game from the visitors booth and be on AA Baseball TV. We've been on AA Baseball TV 3 times in Lake Country, but we couldn't really see the game. Now we can see the game. So that was cool, and really happy about that. Thank you, Josh Buckholz and the Cleveland Railroaders, Brad Allred, for their fine work. Tip of the cap. Awesome. It was great. So there, that's just really good to see. I also want to take you back to the weekend. I have a little piece I want to play for you as well here on the show before we get too far along. But last night, Kansas City got to a 5-0 lead. It was looking pretty good. A couple runs early. We just got 2 runs in the first, 3 in the second. 5-0. But then, oh, by the way, grand slam bites you again. That's been sort of the this over just a tad here. Sorry about that. Grand slam, fourth one since last Friday week ago, and second one for Nick Shepard, who I don't know what to say. He's had two home runs this year, and they are both grand slams, both against the Monarchs, both against Keem Bostic. I don't know. It's just one of those fluky deals that's happened in baseball. We talk about fluky numbers, and some of them are flukes. Some of them are, for example, the fact the Monarchs record is so good when, for example, scoring 7+ runs. I don't think that's a fluke. I think that's just the power of your offense. But the 1-run games, you only got, you're now 2 and 3 in those. You don't play a lot of 1-run games, so it's not really it's an odd stat. The stats of being down late and not winning, the 1-13, 1-13, all that, 1-14, 6, 7, 8, those numbers, while they stand out at you and you're due for one, you've won so many games other direction that it sort of negates that out. So numbers can be funny sometimes, right? They can be funny. And but the Monarchs had not had back-to-back come from behind wins, had a walk-off on Sunday, and then had the comeback win last night and fell behind with that grand slam didn't fall behind. Cleveland got back in it. It looked like last night that this was going to be one of those Monarchs runaway wins. It was 5-0. And they had shown no signs of not seeing the ball that night. And Garrett Alexander was going to be around a while last night, so you figured you were good for their 5 runs, which by the way, you were good for, but it was other ways to get them. They got that grand slam home run, cut to a 1-run ball game, and then it was nip and tuck the rest of the way, back and forth. Cleveland tied it. Kansas City took a lead. They tied it, took a lead. Kansas City then tied it up again, and then they got the lead in the 7th inning, which sets up well for them. And then, you could feel I felt the air in the booth anyway. I don't know what the dugout, I'm not in the dugout, but I felt as a fan when you get in that situation where, they're good pieces of their bullpen are ready and they're going to be having their closer ready and rested was dangerous. And then they get the insurance run in the 8th inning and you're thinking, okay, yeah, very exciting game, but boy, was it slow. It was a slow burn. If you were sitting in the stands last night, which W40 was, she knows all about it. Yes, good win for the team yesterday. Nicholas, how you doing, mate? Good to see you. Hope you're doing well. The hardest working man I know. He put my broadcast partner to shame. I'm kidding him. We have some great folks on our team. Nicholas is one of them. He's got a bright future, and of course Jackson does too. And much love to you, mate. But yeah, W40, you were there last night. Frosty. I mean, it's what it is down here. Now, I will tell you this. I psych myself up so much for this. I grew up here. I know the weather. I know, and I was telling Joe this last night. As kids growing up, I didn't think about it. Down here, I played outside, played doubleheaders, jumped in the pool, rode my bike, did all the things I did. My days weren't spent inside the AC except for lunch and maybe, for a late afternoon watching the Cubs on GN or something, right? That was pretty much it. It was heat. It was summertime, right? I was out of school. Now as a grown man, I do dread the summer heat down there. It's part and parcel of living in this part of the world. The trade-off is you get wonderful weather all but about 3 weeks of the year, and that's that February terrible weather you get. So, but yeah, it's warmed out here, and it was definitely warm last night. The field turf is brutal. Yeah, and I'm going to be outside in about 25 minutes, and it won't be easy. It won't be easy. I'll tell you that. Anyway, but the field turf does make it hotter as well. But back to the game. Hey, folks, it looked like this was going to be a runaway last night. And again, they come back, tip the cap to them. The key of the ball game wasn't. I'll put my box score up here somewhere. Yeah, here we go. Here's my score sheets from last night. I don't use a scorebook, and no one's ever asked me this, but I'm a little odd. I'm a little uncomfortable with this story. A lot of broadcasters use scorebooks. I don't. I know a scorebook's probably beneficial to keep records of all the games. Back in my early days, I did keep a book. I didn't find one I really liked, but I found some sheets I really liked. And I found that I used to like to stand in some places and I'd hold my sheets. I would stand and have it in my hands. I like to have things in my hands. Now with computers now, not so much, because now you've got your laptop up and I got a lot more of that going. It used to be just to be, I would hold my sheets. So I don't hold them like I used to, but I still like my big sheets. It's not what most, I would say 9 out of 10 broadcasters don't do it this way. But I do a thing, and you can't tell here because I didn't do a lot of color coordinating yesterday, but I have color coordinating, and I find the bigger the sheet, the more space I can write, the more colors. And if it's really done up, this one's not done up so much. I was a little hurry yesterday, but when it's really done up, for example, you'd have different colors of ink and different colors and things, and I can just look at the color, and I can tell you, okay, that means this. Well, I find that a box or a book itself, so much smaller pages, but I have to write real tiny. I want to be able to stand there and look down and be able to, with a lot of stuff going on, it's just what I do. So anyway, but anyway, last night they take the lead in the 7th, and then in the 8th inning they get the insurance run, which was huge. And you're thinking, okay, you're down by 2. It's the one thing Joe talked about, Joe Cappietro, saying that, you get the back of their bullpen. This is a tough spot for the Monarchs, any team. It's Cleveland's problem is not the fact that their bullpen's bad. Cleveland's problem is the fact their starting pitching has been up and down, and the middle part of their bullpen's been down, and they can't put teams away when they need to. That's been their problem. They've got a couple pieces in the back end, and they've been pretty good. But unfortunately, when you're like Cleveland in the standings, you're 15-31. Got a little room for error. And so when you get those rare opportunities for a save, you got to close the door. And you're still going to have the course of a season. The save chances are going to be roughly a good closer is going to be roughly the 90% range, something like that. You're still going to have some hiccups. And, it happens. And he, last night, big time hiccups as well in the ball game. So, I mean, let's walk through it, though. Let's do that. Yeah, it was good to see Kenny. I'm going to get hotter. Yeah. Oh, well. What are we going to do? I guess just pour water on ourselves. Yeah, it was great to see Kenny at the ballpark last night. But Kansas City in that 9th inning, down by 2, and you're thinking, okay, what you like about this offense, and it's really for any club, but this offense especially, it leads the league in home runs. You're thinking, okay, at any point, you're down by a run, you can tie it up, and that's true. That's the beautiful thing. We've seen it time and time again. Matter of fact, De La Guerra homered last night to tie the ball game, and that's what this team does. It's got that long ball capabilities. Any moment, boom, tie it up with a solo shot, and they wind up getting 2 leadoff walks. And just looking back at the inning, the walk, Gillespie and Cosma, and then you think, okay, now this looks good. And Chad De La Guerra, who'd homered, I thought was a good spot. He hit a ball to left field, just got under it, out left center, and that was out number 1. Willie Abreu strikes out, but very aggressive. I liked his approach, and he just missed a foul ball on a 2-2 count. He lined down the right field line that definitely would have gotten, if it straightens out and gets down, would have probably tied the ball game up or at least got you a run. So then a hit by pitch for Sweeney on a payoff pitch. He gets hit in the back. So you've got the bases loaded now. Kevin Santa works the walk of the year, a bases loaded walk. He gets the run home to make it a 1-run ball game. And that sets everything up for John Hernandez. And John Hernandez on a 3-2 payoff, fighting, deep in the count, seeing pitches, a big pitch, a big lengthy inning, delivers the RBI single. And I think we all knew, I think Brad Alder would tell you next door, their voice, that you just knew that that situation, he was 0 for 4 tonight. Look at his walk. Let me double check that. Yeah, John was 0 for 4, was walked in the 8th inning with 2 down. And you just do it. You just felt it. And the Monarchs coming back right there. Now that was another first because you had not come back. You'd walked off, and you'd walked off at home. You'd come back to win at home, and you'd come back to win. You hadn't come back on the road to win, and so that was a big thing. So let's just show you what happened last night. Let me give you the final play here. Let me put this on the screen. This is the best I can pull at the last moment. So just give me a moment here to pull this on the screen for you. Let me do this. let me play this. This is coming off AA Baseball TV, and let me go ahead and roll this for you guys last night and see if you can hear it.
All right, 3 balls, 2 strikes, the payoff coming. There we go, 3-2. And the right-hander deals to Hernandez. Line out toward right, coming in. That'll drop for a base hit. 1 on its own. Here comes another. And the Monarchs have come back in the 9th inning. And Hernandez delivers RBIs to right field. And Kansas City takes the lead. Oh, man. How about that? Hernandez on back-to-back days delivers. And the Monarchs have battle back in Cleveland.
Yeah, I don't know how much of that you saw, but let me bring this down here. Pause it. I don't know how much you saw that. It was kind of free. It was pixelating a little bit there, but I'll try to edit that for you guys. I'll try to get it tomorrow for you, but don't know if I'll be able to. But we may have an exciting win tonight, and we'll have more highlights. But I'll put a booth cam up for you. How about that? I think I got excited in the booth, so maybe we'll do a booth cam for you. But that courtesy of AA Baseball TV last night, and that is the audio and the video together on AA Baseball TV. Again, I don't know how. On my screen, it was kind of a little wonky, but anyway, that was last night, and the Monarchs win. And John Hernandez with the go-ahead RBIs right there. Jameson McGrain comes in. Now, there was a good play in that 9th inning as well that I'll probably talk about a little bit tonight on the pregame with Joe Capietra. There was a line shot by Shumpert out toward left. I didn't think off the bat it was gone. I thought it could be trouble, and I could easily see it getting down or off the wall. I felt that way off the bat. I did sort of leave it raised on my seat, and that's the one Kenny's talking about there. Outstanding catch. I don't know if I can. Let me see if I can get to that one. Give me a moment here. Let me see if I can pull that one up for you. Let me see. It was the play. Let me give me just a second. Let me mute this.
Back over to the Dallas.
I think this is it right here. Let me see if I can.
Right side.
I got the Shumpert play here. Let me go ahead and play it in the background and see if it gets up there. I know it's kind of produced on the fly here, but let's do that. I want to show you guys this. It's not exactly how we draw it up, but it'll work if we can get it to go here. And let me see if I can get to go. Let me put this on the screen, and if it, I don't remember what the pitch was, because let's see here.
2-0 count from McGrain. There it is up the knees. It's called strike 2-1. Do it.
This is it right here. Let me give this to you. This is the play that Kenny's talking about, and this is the one I was going to ask Joe about. But this is what happened with 1 out in that 9th inning. Let me see here. Sorry, folks. Producing on the fly here. In that 9th inning, it was a 1-out single for Hunter Wolf. And so there's a runner at first base, and Shumpert lines this shot to left. And let me just show you what it looked like here. If you guys can see this, let me go ahead and play it for you right here. And then let's go ahead and press play. That should come up, and hopefully we will be able to.
2-2 from McGrain. Here's the pitch. Away, 3-2. And Jameson kind of frustrated himself there. He looks, kind of like he's talking to himself like it was a mechanical thing there. He kind of opened up and
Come on.
Big pitch of the ball game now with the runner at first base. And Hunter Wolf, payoff pitch, McGrain, that glove right under the eyes here. Shades the entire face. And righty matchup. The 3-2 payoff runner goes. Swinging a foul back, and it stays at 3-2.
A little longer at bat than I thought it was. Sorry about that, folks. Let me. I thought it was 3-2. I guess he did foul it off a little bit, but.
Here, rub that ball down, and he's ready to go. Glove on his left hand. It's the pant legs, and he'll toe that rubber. Payoff pitch due to Nick Shumpert, and they'll be surely start the runner again, you think? Hunter Wolf leads at first base. As the payoff, he goes again. Get out toward left field. Swinging there, though, reaching up, and a great play by the warning track. Oh, man. Highway robbery, Darnell Sweetie. A looping liner out toward the track will hit pretty well there. But Darnell at the track leaps for it, makes the play right next to the wall out there for out number 2. Oh, man.
And that was the play last night Kenny was talking about right there. That was a phenomenal play. Darnell got a good jump on it again. If that ball was, again, Hunter Wolf's running there. So with that, he's running on that play, and he's already at second when that ball gets out to the wall. If it gets off the wall and ricochets back in, there's a pretty daggone good chance that game's tied up. Sweeney makes a great lunging play there at the wall. It was a nice play, and that we got lost on that again. I think because I think at the time you heard me. I mean, I definitely ran that play in the post game, and it was a great play. I ran it in the post game highlights. Off the bat, I knew it was a line drive. I thought it was holding up enough with some spin that my head's telling me Sweeney's going to make the play, and he did, but I didn't realize that ball was picking up some steam as it got out that to the corner. And I think it was slicing away from Darnell too, or hooking from off the bat, but slicing away from him as the fielder. And he got it and leaped and, kind of lunging, made a nice play. And, big play. I mean, that's it. The ball gets down. Possibly it's going to score a run. If not, second and third and one down. I mean, all kinds of possibilities, but that was huge. And then the final out, fly ball to center field, who John Hernandez came in and made the play on, and that was it. It was a wild game, too. It was a couple of ebbs and flows there. There was a drop fly ball on the right that probably, you like to have back. There was, and John lost the ball in the lights. That was a triple that you heard me in the broadcast booth trying to tap the brakes for the PA guy who was rah-rah a triple when it was a pop fly loss in the lights, but oh well. But Jamison McGrain did come through, too. Great night last night. Again, that recaps the game last night. Good stuff, though. I appreciate WD-40 and Kenny. But so, pretty exciting stuff last night. What will the Monarchs do for an encore? Well, trying to win 32 games now. Kansas City's win last night, the doubleheader split for Chicago, the Monarchs and the Dogs now even with the second-best record. Kansas City with Fargo being idle last night, 2.5 games behind the Redhawks. So you gained a game and a half since Sunday. They lost Sunday, didn't play yesterday, and you picked up the win and the win. So, in both in comeback fashion. So those are clutch places to circle on the calendar. Long way to go, but it's kind of okay. These 2 days were a difference maker, and you just keep going on. You got 2 chances to win a series now with Money in the Bank tonight. Lewis Thorpe going for Kansas City. Hilton Smith, who's really pitched well for the Clevelands and probably figures as their ace. I mean, he's a guy that put a hex on Fargo. Well, I suppose. I'm not sure what that hex would be. You betcha. You betcha. We'll put the bet. You betcha. What they say? You betcha. Put the you betcha hex on them. I don't know. It's going to be a fun August with the trips to Fargo and the trips to Winnipeg. A lot of baseball left though, but Midway Point comes up this week. Monarchs again went deep last night, so we're looking at, I think, 100 home runs is coming our way, and I think that's going to happen before the All-Star break, which we talked about that. Jackson and I both agreed that would happen. We just weren't sure how many the Monarchs would have, which means you get the All-Star break with 100 home runs. You only need 48, to break the record from last year. I mean, that's pretty good. The only other thing, and we'll talk to Joe about this tonight, is his concern in I don't know what to read into it, but we're going to get, and that's what I was going to say, get Akeem back again. He's just on a bad spot. And Kenny and I were talking about this last night there in Cleveland. For the better part of the first half the season, he was in a groove. And I don't know if it's, if there's something, fatigue-wise, if it's a mechanical thing, what it is. Because the thing is, if you look last night, I'm doing this to you guys, but I just looked at last night. His first 6 recorded outs were strikeouts. I mean, he had a sack 1-3 on Zach Narrier, and then a fly to left strikeout of Casey Clemens. Then the second inning, After the grand slam home run, he gets a fly ball that was dropped in right, a strikeout, a walk, and a strikeout, a line to right. Now he's not getting a lot of ground balls here. His only ground ball is came in the third inning last night, a ground double play ball. But and there was his final out, two of his final 3 outs of the 5th inning were ground balls, 1-3 tapper and a 4-3 ground out. So he had 3 strikeouts and 4 ground ball outs. So I have to take it back. 3 ground ball outs, and yeah, that's right. 4 ground ball outs and 3 strikeouts. So, I mean, he got off to a really good start. And I don't know what I'm not expert enough at the pitching art to tell you what that means, but I think what it means is missing bats early, and maybe. And again, this is just me speculating. I have to talk to Akeem and ask him. He's very honest. He'll tell you what the deal is. And is the strikeout become too big of a player for him? Is it, and I had this conversation a few years ago. A very young pitcher at the time, a guy named Warwick Saupold. You heard me talk about Warwick. He pitched in Korea, pitched for the Tigers, the big leagues, made the big leagues, went from rookie or international free agent to the big leagues, and spent 3 years over in Korea, really, really, and still pitches in Australia. He told me in double A, I believe it was, or maybe an A ball, on one of the two, that, one of the biggest things he had to learn as a guy who could strike out batters was that sometimes his defense could do the work for him. And that always doesn't resonate in those situations. And it takes a while for that to kick in. Now, Keem's the guy that's been the big league, so I'm not speculating that he doesn't know how to do that. That's not what I'm saying. I just think that maybe, and we talked about this a little bit last night, we're talking about Smokey Joe Williams, who was a big strikeout guy, striking out 20 batters on a regular basis at the turn of the last century, which didn't happen. National Baseball Hall of Fame and Negro League legend. Well, as he got older, the breaking ball and his location and his cunningness takes over, right? And at certain points, when you as you develop as a pitcher, you also develop those, it's not secondary pitches, secondary notions, secondary situations where I'll pitch it backwards this time, or you got to, Greg Maddux was a classic example of a guy who did those things over the career. Of course, he wasn't throwing, 110 miles an hour his whole career, right? I mean, he wasn't doing that. So sometimes you got to adjust, and he became a different type and a better type of pitcher. I mean, Nolan Ryan's one of the few examples of a guy who threw gas his whole career. But I don't know where all this is going, but I do think that there's got to be, again, I'm not saying that it's not a worrisome thing when this club's doing what this club's doing, being 15 games above. You don't really worry about that, but you do want, if you get all your ducks in a row, you're going to need all your rotation pieces. And I think that it probably is not as glaring as a situation right now because of the way, you've seen Hartman and Thorpe throw, and you see that in John Harris, and you're kind of not really, but I think the concern is Akeem Bostic, just if he's okay. I think that's the biggest concern, is Akeem okay? And that would be my question. And that's part of the question I asked tonight to Joe. Is there something there that they're working on, they're worried about? I mean, because sometimes we've talked about it last year. Remember Justin Schaefer? At times was just unreal. And at times he got knocked around. Justin was suffering from a discomfort, and eventually would get shut down and have surgery in the offseason. I'm not saying that's what's going on here. I'm not saying that because I don't know. But those are things that happen over the course of a season. And usually when a guy goes through that, the diagnosis is the last thing that comes. Because they want to fight through it. I mean, they know their arms. They know. I mean, we're talking about Garrett Alexander last night. That guy's got a rubber arm. And guys know. And I think and you'll see it when a guy, when a manager's called out and a trainer's called out by the catcher to check a guy to see if he's okay, or the pitcher looks discomfort, it comes out. They know in their head. They throw those warm-up tosses. They know. Remember Donatello last night? He got hit with the one hopper back right on the back of the knee, and he points to where it was. And he was in pain initially, but a great play though, by the way, on that another unsung play I didn't even talk about last night. We talk about the post game. It was a great play. That situation is a classic example. The pitcher goes and he throws a couple pitches, and most of the time guys will stay out there. They got to really be hurt because that's the last thing on their mind. And the last thing on the mind is that I've got to shut myself down because I don't feel right. They know their bodies. You feel through it. I mean, it's the same thing with anything you do when you strain your body. You're going to try to push through it. So again, I don't know if that's the case, but that is something that the Monarchs can be concerned about. And I say concerned. It's not like a knee-jerk concern, but it's something I know Joe's worried about. He mentioned in the last couple starts for Akeem that needing innings. I got the innings last night. Now, and I will tell you this too, that a 5-0 lead, if he wants any pitch back, it's the one to Shumpert, he gets that pitch back. I would tell you last night that Akeem Bostic wins that ball game going away, probably goes 5 innings, giving up maybe 2 earned runs. That's what I tell you. But that one pitch, and that's how fine line this game can be, that once in a while, that one pitch changes everything. It's like a guy with a high ERA. It was like, we're talking about this about Donatello. Justin has an ERA that doubled with one outing because he had such a limited sample size of innings that one outing where he got knocked around, it blew the ERA. And sometimes it's that one pitch, that one inning that the whole body of work looks inflated where it's not that bad. And I would tell you that I think last night he gets that pitch back and you can't do it, but you don't give the grand slam up to Shumpert. You give a fly ball for an out, ground ball fielder's choice for an out, whatever the case may be, you do that. I think the Monarchs win last night going away, and I think we're talking about a different Akeem Bostic. We're probably talking today about Bostic back in his groove again. So that's what I would tell you. But yeah, we got to get him going again, and there's no doubt we will. I love that guy. He is such a super dude, and he is such an important part of this ball club, and his demeanor and his way he carries himself. And this is a guy that went from this is a guy that you can look at and say, look, you can do it. I did it. He went from obscurity in indie ball, was actually a prospect, AAA, AA guy with the Astros and Rangers, to a guy in indie ball who went from indie ball to the big leagues, and it can be done. So he's one of those guys that I know that this club and franchise and organization is pulling for. I know Joe is. So we'll ask Joe about him tonight, and Joe always gives me good candid answers. So that'll be tonight. Which leads me to tonight. I wanted to show you this. I don't know if I have time for this as I'm running late here. I got to get out of here and get some work done and get a workout in. Let me see if I can get this for you, though. I want to show you this. I want to see what you guys think about it. Promise tomorrow we'll just try to have coffee tomorrow. We'll try to do. If I could find this for us here. You know what? I'll save it. I'll save it for tomorrow. I'll save this for tomorrow. I'm a little long-winded there. I got the booth cam edited and from Sunday, and I want to show you guys that. So I'll post on social. I'll put up my Twitter feed, and I'll show you guys tomorrow on the show. How about that? If I can, unless tomorrow the show is a bunch of more home runs or a comeback winner or a grand slam or something for the Monarchs, then if not, if it's bad news, I'll show that for sure. If it's good news, I'll try to squeeze it in. How about that? Because we got to get going here at 12:49. Glad you guys stopped by. I got to hydrate here. Now, the broadcast situation tonight, it's a good one. 2 places. First off, we'll start off with and we'll just put this graphic up because it is the Monarchs Broadcast Network. Let's do that. But 2 places to go tonight. And of course, you can go there every night. It's every night you do this. Doesn't matter if it's tonight or any night. But the Monarchs Broadcast Network beginning at 6:36 tonight. Now, I don't know how the AA Baseball TV does it. Each ballpark's different. I know for us, we're kind of hit or miss. We're usually about 6:40 to 45. You start getting programming. It all depends on what's going on down the production way. I didn't see what they did last night. I don't know. I'm assuming they were about the same time. It's usually what happens once the ballpark show gets going, they get the stream going, but I don't know. And I think Brad goes on about 10 till maybe, I think. So when Brad goes on is when we'll go on as far as the stream on the A Baseball TV, but you'll pick up part of the pregame show, probably the tail end, which will be Monarchs 101. You'll pick that up. I don't think you'll hear Joe on that, but you might. I mean, again, no, I don't know, but possibility. I guess I can go back and check and see where they were last night. So that's what will be on the AA Baseball TV. Mix LR comes your way at 6:36. Now there, you will get all the pregame show. You will get our flashback moment, Joe's conversation, and then we'll roll into that. But I would imagine you'll get most of the pregame on all the pregame on radio, most on the video, and again, all the posts will be on radio, but they're both the same call. It's the same audio call over it. So join us tonight in Cleveland, 6:36 the pregame, 7:06 the first pitch, as the Monarchs and the Cleveland Railroaders. It'll be Breckian baseball today. Good morning, mates in Australia, as we'll be saying hello to Australia, as we'll be hopefully joined by folks from everywhere from Airlie Beach to Perth, from Queensland to the western shores of Australia, as Lewis Thorpe, the man from Victoria, going tonight. And Lewis has been great this year. The lefty has been steady as they go. And he will be on the bump tonight for Kansas City. And that will be tonight on the Monarchs broadcast network. Big tip of the cap to the Roastery Coffee Company. 6 locations in Kansas City. Go to that Southwest Boulevard for that factory drive-through and say hello to that DC3 above you. Drive-through. Who wouldn't want to go drive through any drive-through and look up and see an old school plane right above you? It'd be kind of cool, right? So check that out down there and go see the folks at the Roastery Coffee Company, the official coffee company of the Kansas City Monarchs. And are you guys ready for a little 1, 2, 3 go Monarchs? I am. So I'm sure stalling here, so I don't have to go outside and lose about 90 pounds in the sun. All right, here we go. All right, 1, 2, 3, go Monarchs. I'll see you in the broadcast. Not everybody. Promise.